Right, so how does this pre-approval business actually work? So a pre-approval essentially says that you as applicants can be approved for a number of dollars for your mortgage. And that's based on obviously all the things that we just talked about in those other videos. So deposit, income, expenses, all of that stuff. But the key thing that people seem to sometimes forget is it's approving you. It hasn't approved the property yet. That's why it's a pre-approval. So once you guys are approved, if you find a house that you want to buy, that property still has to be approved by the bank, because sometimes houses that you want to buy are not going to be approved. And that's in the next section of how to actually buy a house, because sometimes they have weather tightness issues, they're too run down, or there's unconsented works, which will go in depth in other videos. So the pre-approval is for you guys, not the house. Every house has to be ticked off, and then the bank might ask for additional information. Now, sometimes, depending on the bank and the deposit size, you may not be eligible for a pre-approval. So instead, you would be eligible for a live deal approval, which basically means that you have to find the house first. And once you've found it and got a conditional offer on it, or you've got an auction agreement that you send to us, this is before you bid, not after, then we get everything approved all in one go, which can be more stressful, but knowing our experience and having access to the bank's calculators means that we know exactly how much you can borrow on those bank calculators. And even if we get it wrong, which is very unlikely, you have a finance condition on your offer to make sure that of course, you have an exit point if you need it. And the last thing you're probably wondering is, how long does a pre-approval kind of last for, and what's the process to get one? So with me, the process is we do a phone call to see whether or not it's worth trying for a pre-approval. If the phone call is good, that's stage 1. Stage 2 is fill in a form to make sure we do the numbers in the bank calculators. Stage 3 is to then upload your documents to verify those numbers. And if all goes well, we have a conversation about which bank we think is best, or which banks we think is best, and submit it to the bank for a pre-approval. That takes 3 to 5 working days, depending on bank turnaround times. And then once you've got the pre-approval, it lasts 3 to 6 months. If you don't find a house in 6 months, we just have to reapply, because obviously your financial position is probably going to be different in 6 months' time if you haven't found a house yet.